Section 5.6 is fairly short, but it is all word problems. This is dealing with growth and decay. Compound interest is pretty much the same formula. So there's only two formulas, but they're basically the same formula. But I'll write both of them and explain them a little bit here. So this is the first formula. This is the formula for exponential growth, exponential decay. Now, this formula uses a P. Some books will use something different, but this stands for the population after time t. This P sub 0 in science that's called P naught. That's your starting amount, or in science usually they call that the initial amount, initial value, or starting population, initial population, whatever. Remember, E is just the number E, okay? T is time, obviously. Okay, now time can be in years or minutes or seconds or months or days or weeks. It does not have to be in years every time. Now K is called your growth rate, okay? So you could use R for that as well, you know, if you wanted to. But usually the formulas use a K. So I think some of the problems in your book might use R, but K is called your growth rate. Now, if K is greater than 0, we have growth, okay? And if K is less than 0, we have a decay situation, okay? So growth obviously would indicate a population getting bigger, okay? And a decay is where the population is getting smaller. So if this value of K is negative, you have decay. If the value of K is positive, you have growth occurring, okay? So a lot of these problems just require filling numbers into the formula, but you are going to have to do some solving using logarithms as we go through the word problems, okay? So that's the growth decay formula. Now this next one is for the money problems, and the phrase here is continuously compounded interest, okay? The word problem will be pretty clear about that. It'll say compounded continuously. This one will use an R, but you're going to notice that formula is basically the same as the one above it, just different letters, okay? So we're talking about money here usually, okay? And there's a couple money problems in your assignment. So A, we call that the amount after time t. Just like we did with the simple interest formula earlier this semester. This is your principal value. As again, that's how much you're putting in the bank, how much you're putting in the investment. R is your interest rate. Has to be in decimals. Okay, and T is your time, and usually that's in years. With money problems, time is almost always in years. Okay, so that's it for the notes. I've got some examples coming up here, but you just basically have those two formulas to deal with.